Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video about Under the Radar. Thank you guys for so much love for the past couple of weeks. And let's start this year right, alright? We're talking about my guy, Jinja Ninja Nico Mannion. Do you guys remember this guy? I mean, everybody does, even I do. But I'm gonna tell you guys his story today. Now, we all know that this guy was a monster in high school. 5-star recruit. Everybody was recruiting him. Number one point guard of his class at one point. But he finally ranked as a top 10 in his class, which he is ninth. He averaged around 24 points in high school with 6 assists, 2 rebounds. I mean, everybody wanted him. I mean, this guy, the only problem about Nico was his height. Yes, he's 6'3", and that isn't short for basketball terms, or in basketball world, but you're expected to be 6'3", 6'4" coming out of high school, sometimes 6'5". But what happened? I mean, this guy was highly anticipated in high school. Did anything bad happen to him in college? And the answer is no. In Arizona, yes, he balled out. He balled pretty well. It's just that the unfortunate history of the NBA, that's what got him. And you know what that was? It was basically his timing. Basically his timing in being drafted. I honestly think if he waited one more year, he would have been an easy top 10 pick. Easy. Either a top 10, top 20 selection. But everybody wondered, why did he get drafted in the second round? I mean, second round? It's almost unheard of for a 5-star recruit, McDonald's All-American. Second round? Even I was, shocked. To see his name not be called in the first round. But yet his best friend and teammate, Josh Green, was able to be drafted ahead of him. Let me explain my little suspicion here, guys. There's no question that this guy actually has talent. I mean, he averaged good numbers in college, 14 points, nearly 42% from 3, 4 to 6 assists. I mean, those are solid numbers. Those are first round numbers, in my opinion. Normally, with all the prospects and people I'm covering that are going to the NBA in my channel, they usually get drafted. The average or minimum range that I've been, observing with prospects I've covered and going to cover, they literally average around 12 to 14 points, or literally the golden number of getting drafted in the league as a point guard or a scoring guard. But let me explain my analogy here. The only reason why I think Nico got drafted that low is not because of his hype or anything. His hype was an all-time high, and he still is an all-time high. It's basically, number one, the timing, the amount of people or the amount of hype people joining him in the draft, and secondly, the NBA history. Let me explain here. Have you guys noticed ever since the 2017 NBA draft, there hasn't been a number one pick that was a true guard or a point guard, like my guy Nico right here? If you guys see here, in the 2017 NBA draft, my guy Markelle Fultz was the last point guard to be drafted number one overall. 2018, it was DeAndre Ayton. 2019, it was basically all about Zion. I mean, my God. 2018, then 2019, you just see more big men, more small forwards. And if you guys noticed, if you go from 2017, you observe right here. Observe 2017, 2018, 2019, and obviously last year's draft. How many guards and scoring guards you can see within the top 10? It got lesser and lesser and lesser. I noticed for point guards in the top 5, top 10, they were at least 5 or literally half of the top 10 were literally point guards or shooting guards. But as the years went by, I started noticing that teams prioritized small forwards and centers. or mobile centers, scoring forwards with freakish athleticism or with freakish wingspans. You guys noticed number one pick in 2019 was Zion. That's a power forward. Yes, you guys can see Jared Culver, but Minnesota primarily uses him as a small forward, even though his true position is a point guard. I mean, look, what really frustrated me was the fact that Josh Green was drafted over Nico. And even though prior to the draft, when I made my own little draft board and I looked at ESPN's mock draft, 24/7's mock draft, and I've seen everybody else's mock draft, they had Nico at least going top 10 or top 20 or basta in the first round. I mean, this guy was poised to be the 12th pick in the draft, in my opinion. I mean, I got backed up by 24/7 Sports, and ESPN held him at 16, and Josh would be drafted 28th or something, or like around the first round. But this guy got drafted 18th overall to the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks. Yes, even though they have Luka Doncic, a point forward excelento, they have him, but they got Josh Green. That honestly confused me. I knew and I knew that Nico might have a chance of becoming a second round pick. It was back of my mind. Why? The only judge of my criteria is the fact that how hyped the draft was. Just remember, guys, like the draft in the days leading up, in the weeks, the months leading up to the draft, everyone was like, this guy's gonna be it, this guy's gonna be it, this guy's gonna be it, the whole time. And I noticed during this time, during YouTube, the internet, no one was talking about Nico. I mean, yes, all I heard from him was as soon as he left Arizona, he decided to declare for the NBA draft along with his buddy Josh Green. Now, they did solid. They had solid seasons in Arizona, but I think that he exited college way too early. He's doing well, but man, I don't want some of these guys to be buried. I've seen so much thousands and thousands of players going to the NBA way too early. I mean, he averaged good numbers at the end of the day, but guys, this guy was an excellent player, but if you can see from these highlights, he really didn't do much in the Warriors right now. He's just passing the ball. Yes, not saying that passing the ball is bad or anything. It's amazing of what he's doing in Golden State, but in Golden State, since Curry is literally the offense, um, yeah, they didn't actually need Nico Mannion in the first place. Because as the years went by, Quinn Cook, if you guys remember Quinn Cook, remember that guard that was scoring very well behind Steph Curry when Steph Curry actually had the option to rest? Yeah, that Quinn Cook. Now, he averaged good numbers. He had 15 points per game. But my guy Nico is not even getting 10 minutes of playing time. And that is the blessing of the G League. So, this is the current, climate of what's happening. It'll happen on February. There'll be 17 participating teams and one Ignite team. And obviously, you guys know the Ignite team: Jalen Green, Jonathan Kuminga, Kai Soto, Principal Sai, Dashin Nix, just to name a few. Will compete against 17 other G League teams that said that they want to participate. Now, unfortunately, some teams like the South Bay Lakers did not participate, so they will not be in the bubble, and the bubble will be held Disney World in Orlando, the exact same place where the NBA bubble previously was held. Now, I think since the Santa Cruz Warriors have recently signed veteran point guard Jeremy Lin, and they're going to utilize my guy Nico here, and the pure experience could actually enhance his ability of on the court. Now, the college game is way more all I could say, simpler than the NBA. The college game, as long as you do well, You do what scouts want you to do, you're good. All right, you have solid ball movement, you hit in the paint. But the NBA, they expect you to do everything. They expect you to be a knockdown shooter, a guy that can shoot under pressure, a guy that can shoot dimes, a guy that can finish around defenders who are a foot taller than him. Now, I think, honestly, with the guidance of Jeremy Lin, who has dealt with the league's evolving crisis of point guards, I think this guy is going to be on the right track. And if he does very well in the G League, I can definitely say that he would be a solid option for the Warriors as soon as he returns in the bubble. Now, there's just going to be a lot of veterans that are trying to get themselves in the bubble, and a lot of solid players are going in the bubble just to not only get the attention of NBA teams, but this is going to be the best opportunity that Nico is going to ever have. Yes, Arizona was a good program, but the thing about Arizona and programs like that, like Duke, Kentucky, and a lot of more other people, they don't tend to focus on one guy. When schools like Duke recruit on a high rate, they don't just look at one guy. They look at thousands of other guys or guys that are getting hyped. So they not only focus on this one guy, they end up focusing on many other guys. If you guys can know what I'm saying. Like, for example, Duke didn't focus on just Zion. He had Cam, he had RJ, he had his own supporting cast. And also, like Michigan State, they had Cassius Winston, they had Miles Bridges, they had a lot of more other talented players that came and gone. But they never just recruited and focused on one guy. So I'm proposing that this will be the most anticipated G League season in a long time. Yes, that, oh, the G League's not the NBA. But guys, the next stars, remember, come from the G League. You'll never know where they'll come from. No one expected Caruso. Nobody expected Siakam. Nobody expected the athletic dunk champion D Jones. Nobody expected them. But they come at the most weirdest times. I mean, look at my guy Duncan. He had to play in Sioux Falls for a little bit in order to fight for a spot in Miami. My guy went from D3, D2, D1, and then a little bit of the G League just to get his spot in Miami. Man, that's just crazy. I can't wait to see Mannion develop as a player and as a person and to mature his game into more of an NBA level. That's why I told him, no, that's why I don't think when he went from college, one and done, he was ready. It told in his game and his numbers that he was ready, but physically, I don't think he was ready. So, guys, I hope you loved today's video. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, join the family. We're en route to my next favorite milestone, 85. Can we hit that, boys and ladies? And see y'all next week.